Hello everyone, how's it going? How are we doing? Welcome to a very special semi-horror themed, wildly out of fucking season stream where I decided that getting into SCPs is something that I'm gonna make my entire personality for the next like 2 weeks, and then I won't open that website again for the next 3 months. Welcome in, hi, hello. I'll explain what we're doing like in more detail here in a sec. Lukage, hi! Holy shit, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Oh my god. Also, I might be looking down at my phone every once in a while, only because I haven't, for some reason, my internet is absolute shit today. Everything keeps going down, and so if the stream drops, I'm so sorry, but nothing's posting, so no one knows we're live right now, because the live notification didn't go off for TikTok and all that, but we still have a bunch of people here, so hi, hello. Luke says stream derail, let's get this going. I'm happy to talk about whatever. The SCP thing is mostly because I wanted to read through I've been having horror YouTubers up in the background while I've been working because it helps me focus on my day job, mostly because my day job gets really fucking like, oh god, really, what's the term? When you do the same thing over and over? Very routine, kind of boring after a while. It's just a checklist, seriously, like day after day. And Papa Smurf said, I know you're live, howdy, hey, hi, hello. And so I have horror YouTubers up in the background on my TV because that way I get so scared that I just like don't actually like stare at the videos because I don't want to get jump scared, and I get so much work done that way. Alright, Tis, hey, welcome back for your 20th stream in a row. Lukage, let me get you on the board as well as a D-class personnel. Thank you so much for the gifted subs, and also congrats on the change that you talked about in the Discord. By the way, we do have a monogamous, look at monotonous. That's the one. But yeah, by the way, if you haven't joined the Discord, we do have a Discord that goes, basically, it's not crazy. It's a very simple little Discord. We just chat about whatever the fuck's going on, but it's not spammy or anything. We also have a hype train incoming, which is fantastic, because Croissant also subbed. Hi, Croissant. Okay, Lukage, 86 with 5 gifted subs. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It was a small little highlight for you. And then Croissant. How the fuck do you spell croissant? S-S-A-N-T. I commend you for spelling it right, because I would have gotten it wrong and then had that be my username for the next however fucking long. So good on you for that. Juice the Goose said, wait, that might be a full bodysuit? What are we talking about? Andronimo says, wait, D-class, you want to sacrifice us? Don't worry about it, it's better than the alternative. Because aren't D-class personnel yanked from like death row and shit like that? Lucas says it's the best Discord simply because she doesn't use @here and @everyone tags. That's right, I won't spam the shit out of you. Also, Berserker says, how's your day, Miss Diana? It was good, I got a lot done at work. I'm probably gonna go back to work after this, and I have my D&D game at 1 in the morning tonight, so I will be exhausted as shit. This is why I don't stream on Thursdays, by the way, is because every other Thursday, I'm coming after a D&D session that goes from 1 in the morning to about 5 in the morning, and so I don't get any sleep, by design. So yeah, that's why I don't stream on Thursdays. We're only a Monday through Wednesday thing. Johnny Infamous says, I believe it's pronounced croissant, but oh my god, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that, but it's good to see you guys again. Let's see, we also have, oh my god, Ned Flanders 26 is here for the first time. Living Stagnant, hi, welcome in. Good to see you guys. Hopefully you're not living too stagnant. I hope you're making some forward progress. If not, that's okay too. I have a bunch of friends who are, oh my gosh, it's like you know those friends who are like the unemployed friends that you randomly see like on a mountain in the middle of Sweden on some random Tuesday? Oregon, and in particular Bend, is so full of those friends. Holy shit. Like my friend Joey is employed, but I don't know what the fuck he does, because he's out on a mountain half the time that I open his like snap streaks and shit like that. Everyone has that friend, right? Panda says, Diana, the hair is spectacular. Ah, thank you so much. Also, Ratmux says the sacrifices we make for D&D. It's, yeah. Yeah. But, let's see. Johnny Infamous says drugs. He sells drugs, I'm sure. I think he does drugs. I don't think he sells them. We can't talk about drugs, by the way. The TikTok live will get shut the fuck down if we talk about that. Chill Penguin, hi, welcome in. Okay, everything's finally loading. Hold on, let me get this story out and let people know that we're actually here real fast, and then I can explain what an SCP is. Does anyone not know, or has anyone read through the wiki before? Because it's actually quite famous. There's gonna be a lot of stories that you recognize. It's actually the source of the original Weeping Angels as well, which we can start with that if we want to. But it's, because like there were the Weeping Angels, but chronologically, the We Being Angel episode of Doctor Who came out after a We Being Angel SCP did. Panda says STD. No, that's a different stream. Different one entirely. Also, Autism Gaming says, what's the Discord link? It is in the chat now if you guys wanted to join and hop in. It's very chill. Let's see, Ratmuck says, thank you for making my background noise of choice for engaging my turbo autism. I'm here for it. And making my Pathfinder browser bookmark compendium with tag system. I will be listening when I can. No crash, no worries. I will be doing a little read aloud. I'm gonna harken back to my days of being at a library and muttering to myself to read because I didn't know how to do it properly yet on my own and in my head. The Noodle 645, welcome in. So yeah, that'll be our day. Odie, hi! Oh my gosh, hello. Hellhound Frog also says, hi Dan, I'm glad I could finally catch you live. I just got back from my birthday party and I thought this stream would be a great way to end off my birthday. Happy birthday! Oh my god, happy birthday. Husky Dread says, secure, contain, protect. Indeed, indeed. So, if you don't know what the SCP Wiki is, let me show you. It's essentially this like compendium of creepypasta. And it's very much like an in-universe sort of thing. If you guys have ever played Control, Control is the exact same sort of vibe, actually. I'm kind of surprised that they weren't directly related to each other when Control came out. Granted, I didn't play a lot of Control, but Control was a game that came out a little while ago. If you don't recognize the name, this is, here we go. Actually, let me go to the Steam page because that's way better. Jesus, it's still $40? This game came out forever ago. But basically the premise is that there's like this organization out there that has a bunch of anomalous objects that have different abilities, powers, are creepy as shit, that sort of thing. Biggie Cheese, hi, welcome in. Hello, hello, thank you for the sub. Oh my gosh, Biggie Cheese, let me get you on the board. Biggie Cheese, and that is 1218. Oh my gosh, hello. Good to see you, good to see you. Wait, let me, oh no, that's the wrong button. This is the button. In fact, I'll even zoom in. There you go, even bigger for the cheese. And Perk says SCP or CPS. CPS is a different stream, don't worry about that one. Lucas says SCP is clearly Snuggles, Curiosity, and Positivity. Oh, Jesus. Also, Odie says, are we reading creepypasta lore? We are. We're going through some SCPs. We might read some non-SCP creepypasta, potentially. Father Force says, I've actually played this. It's a good one. I have it somewhere. I think I have it on Epic. I think I got it when I got my OG graphics card like fucking forever ago. But yeah, it's I didn't realize it won over 80 awards though. Jesus fuck. I never finished it. I can't remember why. Julie says rainbow colors. Yeah, they're a little hard to see now, but they're up in the background a little bit. If I turned off my like Govee lights, we'd be able to see them a bit more. But Croissant also gifted a sub, and Mad Thanos has followed for the first time. Hi Thanos, please don't be pissed at me. Let's see, Papa Smurf said, are you going to the Ren Fair this month? I am, I'm going this Saturday, so that'll be fun. And also, if you ever need another D&D player, volunteers review. I actually don't play D&D, I don't think I'm DMing anything right now, but I also don't play in person. So, here we go, 1997. Actually, wait, you're already on here. Let me do this. Let me erase the old name, and then put the new name up here, and then add it ×2. So that way you have a little bit of a multiplier. Multiplier? I know how to say things. Sometimes. She says we have a lot of streams not to worry about. Wait. I might have missed something. Also, Hellhound Frog says, thanks for the birthday wishes. My party was great. I even got a pie in the face. It was really fun. I feel like, what kind of pie is that supposed to be canonically? Is there like a certain pie? Because I feel like I wouldn't want a pumpkin pie shoved in my face. But also apple pie would just be really sticky. I feel like pumpkin pie would be less messy, but just kind of untraditional. Super Nerd says multiplier, the guy from YouTube. Also, Johnny Infamous says, how much time do you normally take when making your YouTube videos? For the shorts, it could be anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes. And a lot of them are unscripted. If they're less than a minute, they're really not that bad. And then Juice the Goose says it's usually whipped cream. Oh, just like an empty pie crust filled with whipped cream? Oh, really? Like canonically? That's like the default pie? Really? Oh, it's banana cream, says Panda Shoes. Oh, just general cream. Got it. Well, you know me, I love a good pie in general, unspecified. Or shaving cream, oh God. Airhead says usually it's even an empty tin with cream in it. This is such a boomer ass joke, what the fuck? At least make it edible. Kevin says chocolate cream pie is an option. Oh, gotcha. All right, let's get into it. So if you don't know what an SCP is, it's very much the same as like Control. It's basically where there's this whole wiki, and I'll send a link to it if you want to explore on your own, so that way you don't have to follow along with me. But it's a full-on wiki that is just full of creepypastas, and there are thousands of them. The original ones are the most like famous, and we can kind of go into, yeah, the top rated of all time and go from there as to the ones that you might recognize. Yeah, let's see. There's been a bunch of games based off of it, mostly horror games. Top rated, this is only the top 30 days. How do I find the top of all time? Oh yeah, top rated pages of all time. Here we go. So these are 100% the most popular. Veronica says, is it like the clown thing? What, getting a pie slammed in your face? Yeah, it's 1000% a clown thing, and I would never. Also, Atomic Sorcery is here, wanting me to roll the gold D100, saying a complication for a draw steel character? Oh no. Oh man, okay. I haven't played with draw steel yet, but I kind of want to. I've heard good things. Oh, this is the wrong D100. Hold on. So the D100s were gifted to us a little while ago, and we have two of them. We have a gold one and an iridescent one. This is the gold one. It's like hollow, and it's properly, hold on. Got a little bit of a chime to it. Here we are. There we go. And we'll give it a little roll. It's not super consistent. It usually goes in like the 60s and 50s, but we did roll a 100 exactly once. So, you know. Also, Matt Thanos says, hello, currently running a campaign for 2-player groups in the universe of Hades 2. Oh shit, that's cool. Got a lot of inspo from your YouTube shorts. Nice to see you live. It's good to see you too. Welcome in. And Akoto says the lore is disgustingly deep. Yeah, it's fucking huge. Oh shit, 16. Okay. Atomic, your roll is a 16. Let me know what the complication ends up being. I'm kind of curious. I want to play Draw Steel. I haven't yet, but I want to get into it. Also, Ilki, hi, welcome in. Same with Booty Guns, amazing name. Arrowhead says Dice ASMR stream. Yeah, I can do. I have glass dice, which is just. I want to tap things now that I have like these little nails, which I'm gonna have to fully redo them before. They're getting crusty already. I've had them for less than a week. Lucas wants me to hydrate before we get into it. Yeah, I can do. And Atomic says Curse of Immortality. How is that a curse? That sounds amazing. For a Draw Steel character? Also, Crayhack says that Draw Steel is very odd. There's a lot of things to remember. Oh. I don't know. I know people who have made like supplements for it, and I know it's kind of rising in popularity, but let's see. Suspended animation indistinguishable from death. If your body is not destroyed while in this state, after 12 hours, you regain consciousness and regain stamina equal to your recovery value, but you have a Bane on test made to recall lore. Oh shit, so it fucks up your memory. But you're immortal. Lucas says Curse of Immortality means you'd have to outlive all your pets. Oh, that's sad as fuck. Also, Bipolar Bear says being born with immortality would be different than being given it after some time. Imagine being born in an infant state. Just being like a newborn for the rest of your existence. I mean, at least you don't have to pay taxes, but fuck. No, it's just as Diana already outlived all her plants. God damn it. Full Irene says, have you read the original Slender Man creepypasta? I haven't. I've seen a little bit of gameplay of like the games. I haven't watched the movies or anything. Slender Man, where's the original? Is there a original story, maybe? But yeah, there was a like, oh man, there was like a rabbit hole that some kids went down that actually ended in some pretty awful shit. Okay, began in 2009 as a Photoshop manipulation contest entry in the Something Awful forums. Let's see, where's the original? Here's a Reddit thread of someone trying to find it. And yeah, here's the original website that it was on. Let me see if I can make shit. There we go, actually pop up. Yeah. God damn it. My Windows won't cooperate. There we go. July 17th says, or Atomic says, July 17th for the PDF release. Super excited to be running off playtest materials. Oh, that'll be fun. Oh yeah, you can see him in the background. So I guess it was just, yeah, it was in a paranormal image contest. Ugh. Ugh. Goodness. Recovered photographs from the Sterling City Library blaze being taken the day which 14 children vanished and for what is referred to as the Slender Man. Ugh. Ugh. So the original one, there's creepypasta.com. Aha. Jesus, it's only got an 8.55 rating. This is like one of the most popular creepypastas of all time. What do you mean only 8.55? The dude deserves at least like a 9.5. Fuck. Also, Lucas says, I just want to know my cat ate me want to know that my cat ate me when I pass. I assumed she would, and I just want to be right about that. Okay, 11 minutes long. But this is like a proper story. Violent real-life events linked to the Slender Man character based on its infamy increased its infamy and even led to a moral panic based on the negative influences and danger that fictional characters pose to children. Let's see. Usually depicted as an abnormally tall humanoid wearing a dark suit and tie, face is almost completely featureless and often either white or pale gray, but in some depictions it features an animalistic mouth. Oh, I haven't seen that. There are a variety of stories out there. There is no single definitive version. The origins, that photo that we saw earlier, that was all photoshopped. A group of teenagers and children with a now familiar figure standing in the background. It's very much like Uncanny Valley type stuff. So the story itself is not first person. It's like an anonymous sort of thing. Behavior, here we go. It's rumored that he kills children almost exclusively, but it's difficult to say whether or not his only objective is slaughter. I know the chill step in the background is probably not like the vibe for this, but just, give me a break. Ratsuit says, check out Dianea House. It's one of the original creepypastas. Oh, also Bert Dangle, welcome in. Same with GND Daffy. Good to see you, good to see you. And then, let's see. It's thought that he enjoys stalking people who become overly paranoid about his existence, purposely giving them glimpses of himself in order to further frighten them. He enjoys psychologically torturing his victims. Hey, we don't know his gender. You know, how dare we assume? Let me adjust this page a little bit. The formatting of the page itself is actually pretty fucked up, so like, don't blame me if you can't see 100% everything, or if the zoom is really weird. That's not me, that's the website. It's like a teeny little sliver. Let's see. Some people have already claimed sightings, even though he was fabricated, supposedly. He is seen at night peering into open windows and walks out in front of lone motorists on secluded roads. His main intentions appear to be kidnapping children, as he is seen near them in photographs. They usually disappear shortly afterward. The Slender Man has also inspired many stories, such as those of marble hornets. What are marble hornets? In the end, though, his purpose remains unknown. What on earth? Oh, and people are also referring to the rake. Interesting. Someone also photoshopped some Brazilian cave paintings and hieroglyphs and shit like that to make it look like he was around. There was German woodcuts related to it, referring to a tall man. Ugh. Lucas says Slenderman with the background music. Lo-fi beats to stand ominously in the woods too. Also, Baranka says, Slenderman is morbidly a very interesting example of how people can be influenced by media. Yeah, it led to people being like, oh my gosh, like, we shouldn't let kids near the internet, you know? And it's like, or we shouldn't, what was the discussion where a bunch of parents were like, yeah, we shouldn't have all this creepy shit on the internet because some people are gonna think it's real. And it's like, or here's a fun idea, maybe just parent your children and monitor what they fucking do on the internet as opposed to trying to monitor the internet itself. I'm never gonna not be mad at parents who get like all up in arms about random. Yeah, Notzer says D&D all over again. Yeah, so D&D had this. We had the Satanic Panic forever ago, back in like the 80s or 90s. Yeah, the 80s, where basically people believed that people who were playing Dungeons and fucking Dragons were actually conducting rituals and doing things like that as if they were actually casting the spells in the game. And so that led to a bunch of parents especially, basically, you know, how do I put this? Like, swearing off the game and making sure that people like couldn't play it, and then Christians got really up in arms about it specifically. So it was absolutely wild. Moral panics they never cease to piss me off. Anyway, Johnny says Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh were also part of the 90s Satanic Panic. I'm kind of surprised that was part of a satanic thing. I know that, oh my god, what is it? The Humane Society. No, not the Humane Society. What's the bad Humane Society? What's the Humane Society but evil again? PETA. PETA got really fucking mad about that sort of thing. Sleepy, hi. Hello, Bert Dangle, if I didn't say hi already. PETA, yeah. Because I will never cease to stop hating PETA. And this is someone who is an animal rights type person and an animal like conservationist. Fuck PETA endlessly. I have a degree in this shit and PETA is so fucking up their own ass. I hate it. But yeah, ABCD says Jesus turned water to wine. That guy definitely liked magic. Exactly. The Gathering and otherwise. Crayhack also says PETA's against the existence of animals. Truly. Also, Fishnet Supreme, amazing name, said made a Twitch just to watch more of your content. I love your Facebook videos, so I figured I'd go all the way. Hi! Oh my god, I'm glad to... Oh my god, you made a Twitch account for me? Holy shit, you gave Jeff Bezos your email for me? Oh no, but hi, welcome in. Clever Kale says, Diana, I've asked before, and you've answered before, but I've forgotten, so I ask again, what do you use to keep your teeth so white? So I use Crest 3D white strips. I actually use these specifically, let me see here. Crest 3D white strips. It doesn't take long to work. You have to use them like once every, especially if you have bad teeth starting off, using them once every 2 weeks is a good enough like regimen to get you up to the level of having really white teeth. And then after that, just like do it every once in a while as you need to maintain it. They do fucking work. The only thing is you want to watch out for specifically the ones that have an ADA label in the lower corner, because not all of them do. And if it doesn't have that label where it's approved by the American Dental Association, that means it might not actually do what it says it does. And you'll notice that only certain ones have that, like, yeah, like this one has it up at the top. Where you can kind of see ADA accepted. This is the sensitive one though. I use like the heavy duty, like nuke my teeth and get all the stains out one. And so keep an eye out for whichever one that is. But that's what I use. And beyond that, I also have a baking soda based toothpaste. It's like the cheap one from Arm & Hammer, which tastes like absolute shit. But it was really fucking effective. Love and Night says, thanks to whoever gifted me a sub. Yeah, we had tons of gifted subs the other day. Also, Dunk the Skunk and Sleepy Ilden, if I didn't say hi already. Hello. Stupid said, I remember PETA made a Flash game parodying Pokemon. It would display the inhumane conditions you put your Pokemon through. Well, thank God they're not real then. It's not like people are taking Pokemon and actually making their pet dogs fight in the street or anything. Katerash, hi, welcome in. Johnny says Pikachu supposedly had satanic lightning bolts on it, and repeating its name is supposedly a satanic chant. You're saying Pikachu? That's a satanic chant? It's not like you're fucking yelling Bloody Mary into a fucking mirror. Are you kidding? That's so ridiculous. Ratmux says matching the distributing the means of production. Crayhack says there's still regulations in America. Yeah, believe it or not, right? But yeah, let's see. People are talking about Palworld. God, I forgot did Palworld not get sued into oblivion? I thought it did. Also, A Flora says, unless you're Michael Vick. Yes, Michael Vick, the guy behind Vicks Vapor Rubs, for sure. If you say Pikachu 3 times, you get put in a ball. Oh my God. Wackos think that Pokemon are named after demons, says Jayhawk. Jesus Christ. But also Lucas says Palworld got sued and lost, but not for the Pokemon designs. Really? Wait, what did Palworld lawsuit? Welcome to the rabbit hole, ladies and gents, and none of the above. They're changing game mechanics because of a Nintendo's lawsuit. Oh. Interesting. So about that Palworld lawsuit. This is the actual site behind it, I imagine. Prolonged legal proceedings. We've had to make compromises to avoid disruptions to development and distribution. So the patch removed the ability to summon pals by throwing pal spheres and instead changed it to a static summon next to the player. Interesting. So you can't like yeet a ball and then have it appear in the ball space. It has to appear next to you. And that was enough? Also, hi Solo Goose. Same with Jonah's World. Welcome in. This is wild. Okay. As many have speculated, these changes were indeed a result of the ongoing litigation. I mean, that's not the worst. Also, from this patch onward, gliding will be performed using a glider rather than with pals. Pals in the player's team will still provide passive buffs to gliding, but you now need to have a glider in your inventory in order to glide. Jesus. Wait, hold on. There's no way that the fucking Pokemon team sued them to the point that they can't use animals to fly. Do you have a copyright on the concept of animals being used to fly? If so, there have got to be some old games where you can like grab onto a pterodactyl's legs and fly across a map and like shit like that. Like there's no way that's the actual... There's no way. That's such a dumb thing to be so up in arms about. I don't know. I'm the type of girl who thinks that lawsuits have gone a little far, so Shwasty, welcome in. And then Natsu says, either way, that's not copyrightable. I guess not. Or maybe it's like it's just, you know, 80% a copy of Pokemon, but if they get it down to 75%, then it's fine. So maybe it's just like making certain concessions so that way they can keep having the game as a whole. Crayhex says they're probably gonna sue the ARC devs next, but ARC devs suck now, so they can get it. Also, G the Mystic says, I think J.R.R. Tolkien has that with the Eagles. God, just wait till Tolkien finds out that Pikachu's coming for his ass. Omni Overworld, welcome in. And Omni says, I was a copy of Pokemon once. It was nice. Natsu says, I am sure it's appeasement. Yeah, I imagine so. Kugan also says, funnily enough, they patented all these things after Palworld was already released. However that works, really? Wait, let me look at the news for this. Pocket Bear pushes to invalidate Nintendo's patents with a Palworld lawsuit. So Pocket Bear argued that Nintendo's patents should be invalidated, claiming that the patent concepts were in use before Nintendo's invention dates. That's true. Rune Factory 5, Titanfall 2, and Pikmin 3 Deluxe are all examples of similar gameplay, so the feature has been a thing for fucking forever. Exactly. Get them. Get their asses. To counter another capture-related patent, Pocket Bear cites several games including Nexamon, Monster Hunter 4G, and its own Craftopia as prior examples of similar mechanics. Yeah, okay. Also, it argues that games like Far Cry 5 and Tomb Raider have already featured different types of throwable objects, where titles like Octopath Traveler and Final Fantasy, whatever the fuck that number is, 14, allowed players to select targets and display capture success rates. Yeah, there's no way they can patent a thing like capture success rates. Ugh. The full patents are available. Let's see. First raised in September. Holy shit, yeah, they actually cite the proper patents, except they are in Japanese, of course. Interesting. Okay, you guys can't see this super well, but aiming direction and firing a combat character that will engage in combat in the aiming direction. Oh, so it's specifically throwing something that will throw a character that then enters combat. Or you could just let it go. You could just be, how about you guys be fucking chill for once, maybe? Atomic Sorcery says selective persecution is a pretty good defense. Exactly. And also Luke says, confirmed, Dinah's D&D nightmare puzzle is the doors with different Roman numerals on it. I'm not good at Roman numerals, okay? But yeah, let's see. ABCD says, you know that frivolous lawsuit of the old lady saying coffee is too hot? It actually was valid as fuck. The coffee was so hot it spilled on her lap, she had to get skin grafts and intense medical attention. Other frivolous lawsuits though, yeah, very stupid. Yeah, that is a very famous example that is kind of wrong. The same way that people say that like blood is thicker than water. It's just an incorrect quote and it's like you're not telling the whole story. Same exact vibe. So there's a lawsuit, for those who don't know, a little while ago from a woman who was suing McDonald's for having coffee that was too hot. And so here, let me find it. Woman sues McDonald's hot coffee. Yeah, Liebeck versus McDonald's restaurants. This was basically what was seen as a lawsuit that was seen as bullshit in like the public eye for a while, because it was a woman suing McDonald's about the fact that coffee was way hotter than it should have been or needed to be. Unshipped says, is this a Palworld Pokemon lawsuit? It was, yeah, we were going over that. I don't know how we got on this topic, but yeah, and so in reality, you know, generally people were like, okay, you don't have to sue over how fucking hot your coffee is. It's a little much, don't you think? But in reality, like the full story that people don't usually tell you is that she went to the hospital, she went into shock, shit like that, and she was only offered $800. So it wasn't fantastic. But yeah, let's see. She lost 20 pounds, nearly 20% of her body weight while she was in the hospital for 8 days and underwent skin grafts. Yeah, so there's now it's set a precedent, right? But yeah, let's see. Anyway, Crest 3D White Strips, Palworld, Liebeck versus McDonald. Mr. McDonald, Ronald himself. Dude, can you imagine Ronald McDonald just like showing up to a courtroom in like, instead of big red clown shoes, they're black, so that way they're proper. I need someone to draw fan art of Ronald McDonald in a courtroom, please, and I will not elaborate as to why if you're seeing this out of context. Kitty and Karai, welcome in, and same with Nyarla, hi. And then Bobby, welcome in as well. Paul says, call Ronald McDonald to the stand. Let's see. Super Nerd said, let's go, we're doing frivolous lawsuits instead of SCPs. I swear we were gonna talk about SCPs. Cashgirl said McDonald's tried to put out a mud smear campaign over her lawsuit to try and discredit her and other lawsuits like it. Oh, so it was McDonald's behind all that shit? Of fucking course it was. Also, Omni says Grimace Shake lawsuit when though? Do you guys remember the Grimace? Dude, the Grimace Shake trend actually kind of scared me for a little bit. Like, not gonna lie, talking about creepypastas and stuff. This isn't old news, so I won't go into it too much, but the Grimace Shake trend was forever ago, and people would have, oh god, someone made a fucking compilation. I won't play the sound for copyright reasons for those who are on TikTok, and there we go. But it was basically people going through and like trying the Grimace Shake and then waking up covered in, you know, the shake and then getting all, it was so weird. But it was also surreal because these kids were they were children, right? Putting on full performances, like proper acting. They had like, you know, they would say like, oh yeah, you know, the Grimace Shake it's okay, it's not that bad, you know, it's not terrible. And then they would hard cut to them and like playing dead, which was insane. But they got so creative with it. So like props to the kids for using internet trends for creativity, I guess. There's a username Girls Don't Poop Bro. That's true. Welcome in. We also have Seeker who gifted 5 community subs. Oh my god, hello. Omni says it's raining subs. It is. Thank you so much. Seeker, let me add you to the board with 5 subs. It's J_JKF. John Kennedy F. We'll do ×5 and do a little circle. Because thank you for the gifted subs. ABCD says Grimace is a Gemini. That's all I remember from that time period. What the fuck? Also, there's a hydrate redeem. Cash Cow said some of them did special effects for it too. It's like the new wave of analog horror. Analog horror goes so crazy, by the way. That's one of the few horrors that I will never not fall for, and I don't know why. It's like the Uncanny Valley shit again. But Secret says, thank you for everything you do. I'm enjoying the Worlds Apart podcast. Thank you so much. If you guys haven't watched the Worlds Apart podcast recently, Lav is doing amazing work with like as little Easter eggs, editing herself into the episodes, and people are commenting on it like, Jesus Christ, I didn't expect an editor jump scare at 1 a.m. But it's so good. It's such a good podcast. Also, ABC says, oh my god, tomorrow's Grimace's birthday, June 12th? No fucking way. Is it actually? Did we just talk about Grimace Shakes before? Are we gonna summon him? Grimace's birthday. Oh man, yeah. Oh god, this is grimacesbirthday.com. I feel like I'm gonna get, how is this 2020 to 2023? Oh, I'm gonna get a virus just by staring at this website. Grimace's Birthday is a 2023 browser-based platformer developed by Cruel Toys and published by, why did they call it Cruel Toys? Oh, it's an actual legit website. Oh, okay. And it was created in order to promote the Grimace Shake. Yeah, okay, they're actually using McDonald's. Why do you call it Cruel Toys? No, this is so fucked. That's not, like, why use the word cruel? What is happening? Okay, press Z to start. Oh, he's a skater boy. I forgot about that. Oh, I'm not gonna rat out to the cops. Sure, start playing. Oh, it brought me into full screen. How do I enter? Oh, normal mode, auto grind on, obviously. Yes, I'm pressing enter. How do I, B? Z. It's Grimace's birthday, and he's throwing the party of the year at McDonald's. Oh no. Oh god, why do I hate this? Notster says, wow, this is a diversion. But he needs to round up Birdie, Hamburglar, and the McNugget Buddies. Who are the McNugget Buddies? Before it's time to blow the candles out. The only problem is, they're nowhere to be found. Where's everybody SMH? Oh, goodness. And be sure to collect enough for his special birthday shakes for all the birthday guests. I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole, but why is he crying? Oh, I feel like it's gonna become abandonware real soon. Johnny says this is gonna turn into a murder mystery. Also, Airhead says something about this is deeply unsettling. Yeah. And Stupid said technically this is an SCP. ABCD says I'm always on my auto grind. I'm like Grimace for real. Also, Iron Joker, hi. We were talking about creepypasta, and then we were talking about Palworld, directly related from Pokemon, because we were talking about PETA, because we were talking about the Satanic Panic, because we were talking about. No, I can actually trace this. This is one of my favorite things to do when I'm bored and stuff like that. So we talked about something to get to the Satanic Panic. No, yeah, we talked about SCPs, because we were talking about creepypasta. And from SCPs, we went to Slender Man and we read the original Slender Man story. And then from the Slender Man story, we talked about the fact that there was a moral panic related to the fact that people read the Slender Man story and then actually did like all these murders and stuff related to it because kids thought it was real. And then people got all up in arms about it. Parents were like, oh, we shouldn't have, you know, our kids reading scary stories on the internet because they might think it's real and they might murder their fellow kids, I guess. And I was like, that's such bullshit. And the internet was like, yeah, it's like the Satanic Panic. And I was like, you're right, it is like the Satanic Panic, which we had to deal with because people also hated D&D back in the 80s. So we were talking about the Satanic Panic. And we were talking about how PETA panicked over Pokemon in much a similar way and were absolute dicks about it. We called them like what, the evil Humane Society or the Humane Society's evil twin or some shit. And then we were talking about the fact that PETA hated Pokemon. And then we got from there to Pokemon hating Palworld because of this lawsuit because they had similar mechanics. And so we dove a little bit into the relationship between Pokemon and Palworld and the patents that I guess Pokemon has over certain mechanics in games. And so we looked into that news on that. And from there, we went into ridiculous lawsuits. In ridiculous lawsuits, we talked about the fact that this woman sued McDonald's a long time ago for having exceedingly hot coffee that they served to her, and how it's traditionally seen as like an absolute bullshit, lawsuit, but that was actually a smear campaign by McDonald's because McDonald's hated this woman for suing them, but she was right because she had to get skin grafts and went into shock and lost 20 pounds because she had spent 8 days in the hospital after the hot coffee incident. So we were talking about how some bullshit lawsuits aren't actually bullshit, but then we were talking about how did we get from there to, because we were talking about McDonald's in general, right? And we were talking about the Grimace Shake trend, which goes way back around to like a new version of essentially analog horror, which is kind of what we're getting into with all this SCP stuff. And so then someone mentioned that Grimace's birthday is actually tomorrow, and so we went back to the Grimace Shake, and from the Grimace Shake we looked at this weird like seemingly abandonware website that was actually from 2023 promoting the Grimace Shake. Anyway, happy birthday, Grimace. That's what I mean to say. Please applaud. I'm not usually able to trace it all back that well. Jesus fuck. You're my dick. Thanks for the hydrate. I haven't had any drugs today, by the way. Did I take my medicine? I did. I had one drug today. Let's see. Paul the Map Guy says this is just how conversations work IRL. Each topic is related to one or the other, but it might be somewhere totally different 6 topics later. In my case, it might be somewhere totally different 6 minutes later. Like, I'm so sorry if you tuned out and tuned back into whatever the fuck that was. We were gonna look at SCPs today. But people are saying it's ADHD. It's not ADHD, it's OCPD. I just memorize things really well. Nostra says, did you have it with a spoonful of sugar? Yeah, the other sugar. Yerba Dank also says this is leftover from yesterday's drugs then. And Zanny said, did you do something with your hair? Maybe it's been a while. I have. So I dyed it in a way that has, I took the backside out from blonde more to like an orangish, purplish. And then the front is like a lot more blonde now, a lot more whitish as opposed to yellow. So, but yeah. Lucifer, hi, welcome in. So, people are saying the other sugar. Let's see. Blung Gang, hi, welcome in. We also have a Breathe. And Bellfire is here, same with Zadewise. Hellboy Beef is here as well. Good to see you guys, welcome in. You're just in time for the actual stream. Zadewise says meds aren't drugs unless you have an overly fun amount. True, but also they don't have like proper Adderall in Australia or something, right? Or there's like certain drugs that you can't get in Australia because it's like so controlled or something. I don't know. Omni says, not so fun fact, Grimace is a giant taste bud, so when kids hug him, he's technically licking all the kids. Ugh, why don't we sue them for that? But yeah, Serenity says saying drugs is more fun than meds. Yeah, right. Also, Mayo is here, saying I started working on my own TTRPG. Really? What genre? Also, Lucifer is here saying, how's your evening going? Good. So we're talking about SCPs and also Grimace. Same thing. And if you look at the SCP Foundation website, these are the top ones of all time, including SCP-173. This is like one of the considered original ones. Where's the... Yeah, there used to be a picture here. I guess they got rid of it. But this website is essentially full of creepypasta. And they're written as if they are like files from a corporation that tracks down what they consider anomalous objects and entities and contains them. So SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. One of the most famous ones is SCP-173, which is the original Weeping Angel. This shit came out before the Weeping Angel episode of Doctor Who. There's the item number, because they're all numbered in sequential order. The object class, which Euclid is relatively safe. That being said, it could still kill you. But like we know how it works, and so you can kind of avoid it in that sort of sense. So Euclid means we know enough about it that we can avoid it killing us. There's also Keter class SCPs, which we don't know enough about it in order to contain it accurately. But these ones are contained enough. Then there's the containment procedures. So this says, item SCP-173 is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer than 3 can enter at any given time. And so you can kind of see the language here and how it's very like, I guess, regimented. The doors should be locked behind them. At all times, 2 persons must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the locker, or the container. Then there's a description of what it actually is. So it does how it's contained first, but then what it does. It's on a certain site. Origin is as of yet unknown. It is constructed from concrete and rebar with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. The object cannot move while it has a direct line of sight on it, and line of sight must not be broken at any time with SCP-173. Personnel are instructed to alert one another before blinking, and the object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull or by strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 hazardous object containment procedures, which is a whole separate thing. Personnel report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported to the acting HMCL supervisor on duty. The reddish-brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood. The origin of these materials is unknown, so the enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. So you might have seen this picture. 173 is by far the most famous SCP, and it's they call it the statue, essentially. Let me see. Oh. Firefox, please. Justice also says, what the heck did I just walk into? We're talking about SCPs. Oh my god, they also have a little, there's an SCP store? No way, they have merch? Ah, look at him. They call him the Peanut because he looks like a peanut. But yeah, the official drawing of him looks like kind of like this, essentially. This is considered to be his front, but it's a little humanoid looking statue. What the fuck else is on here? Oh, this might just be like a little fan store. Hold on. Oh my god, they have SCP plushes called Little Anomalies. Oh my god, they have the cute one. Oh, no way. Oh, this is pretty sick. Valtora says hello. Hi. And also, Akoda says, I thought Weeping Angels were an old Doctor Who first. I think this one came out first, but only by a matter of like days, is what people said. Also, Equinox says, Dinah, the SCP wiki staff had to get rid of the image used for 173 because the owner of the image asked them to stop using it. Really? I wonder why. Also, Mayo says the TTRPG I'm making is a typical fantasy-style TTRPG, just kind of matching together a lot of good mechanics and fleshing it out more in depth with rules for mechanics that other TTRPGs don't cover as much, like grappling. Oh, I like that, because especially because grappling, if done well, could be really fucking, like, useful. But yeah, there's also a collaboration for a redesign, apparently, of SCP-173. Potentially. There's some scary shit on here. But people have done whole like deep dives into this sort of creature, and this is actually really cute. Hold on. What other plushies are there? Toys. Oh, they have SCP-999 on here. They have 323, the Wendigo. The Ketchup Puppy. I don't know what that one is. 939? Hold on. We're derailing. SCP. Hold on. Give me the search. SCP-939. Oh, it's really dangerous. Oh no, what the fuck? SCP-939-1-319-53. So these are all like subsets of this same category of creature, essentially. They're kept in a cell in a 10 by 10 by 3 containment chamber in armed biocontainment area 14. The cells are environmentally regulated and negatively pressured with walls of reinforced concrete. Observation windows are constructed of ballistics glass, 10 centimeters thick, protected by an electrified mesh, and humidity is at 100%, at a temperature of 16 degrees Celsius. It's SCP-939-101 is dismembered and stored in cryogenic preservation tanks. Access is by, up to a certain level of clearance, and only one SCP-939-101 tank can be accessed at any given time. The tissues must be monitored while removed from cryogenic preservation, and if their core temperature goes up past 10 degrees, the tissues are to be returned to the tank, and all testing suspended for 72 hours. The tissues research can continue as long as its ramblings and pleas for release may be tolerated. Ugh. Paul the Map Guy says, don't throw SCP-939 anywhere, Pokemon will see you. Jesus. Also, Zadewise, thank you so much for the sub. Did I get you on the board already? I think I might have missed it. Oh my god. Hi, welcome in. Also, Equinox says, hey Dinah, is SCP-261 on the list you have there? No. And also, Mayo says SCP-999. 682 is another one. Yeah, we can, okay, I'll do a call for the favorites. I want to do this one, the ketchup monster. I want to do 999 because it's really cute, and then we'll go back to 231 or 261. But Zadewise, hello. Thank you so much for the sub. We also have Vault Troller wanting us to roll a d20, saying, will tomorrow be better because I had a tough day at work today. We also had Lukage saying that there is an advantage on that. So here we go. Here is our canine glass gem cut multifaceted d20 from Norse Foundry. It's all glowy. Let me give you a quick roll. First one is a 3. Second one is an 18. Thank God for Lukage's advantage. Jesus fuck. 18 is gonna be a lot better. I hope the day goes better for you too. Spumonian Bitters, welcome in. Also, ABCD says my last 2 weeks of work was so intense that I took this week off. I wasn't built for capitalism. Oh gosh, I feel you. Zadewise says, I just found you on a YouTube short 20 minutes ago and I already know you're my new ASMR. I'm so sorry in advance, but also welcome. But also, hi Vault Dweller. So let's see, containment cells should be cleaned. Heavy sedation of SCP-939 is required before any interaction. There's a transfer and experimentation protocol. You have to wear hazmat gear. Additionally, all live SCP-939 must be implanted with subdermal tracking devices upon capture. Now we get to the description. It says it's an endothermic, pack-based predator, which display atrophy of various systems similar to troglobotic organisms? Similar to... Oh, species that basically live entirely underground. So that probably means that they have really small eyes and like thin skin. The skins are highly permeable to moisture and translucent red, owing to a compound similar to blood, essentially. They're 2 meters tall, Jesus fuck. And each of their 4 limbs end in 3 fingered claws with a 4th opposable digit, so it looks like a velociraptor, which are covered in setae, which considerably augment climbing ability. Oh, setae are like the little ridges that worms have. The heads are elongated, devoid of even vestigial eyes or sockets, and contain no brain casing, but they have teeth similar to those that belong to, a viperfish, and that have heat-sensitive pit organs. So pit organs are what snakes use to detect heat, essentially. They don't have any vital organ systems, but they're capable of bearing live young. They lure prey by imitating human speech and the voices of prior victims, although imitation of other species have been documented. They often imply a significant distress with the vocalizations, and whether or not they understand that the vocalizations are distressful, or they're just repeating what they heard, is the subject of an ongoing study. How they acquire voices is not understood. Analysis of the vocalizations makes them basically identical, and voice recognition inside any installation housing SCP-939 is discouraged for this reason. Prey is usually killed with a single bite to the cranium or neck, and bite forces have been measured in excess of 35 MPa. It also exhales an anesthetic, which causes temporary and pterograde amnesia, inhibiting memory formation for the duration of exposure, plus an average of 30 minutes. It's colorless, odorless, and tasteless. Oh my gosh, okay. And it's usually undetectable. And so there's a bunch of different morphologies, it says. We can look at one of these experiment logs. Oh, there's a bunch of experiment logs. Oh wait, we put it into SCP-914? Oh. Goodness. So they shoved it into a machine. There's also radio traffic during, that was like picked up during initial combat with it, which says, Something here has been dead a while. Home, I'm looking at some shredded clothing down here. No bodies, just clothes, and nothing that looks like our man. We've reached the source of noise. We're about to get our agent back. Prep a trauma bag. It sounds like he's in bad shape. So they followed a voice. Oh. So this was like their initial contact. Interesting. I wonder why they call it the ketchup monster and why they make it look so cute. Because, like, this looks pretty adorable. He just looks like a little guy. Oh, and they even have this. Oh, this is so cute. Look at his little pin. Ah, I love him. This is adorable. Anyway, Strange Miniature says I'm rabbit holing into SCP D&D stat blocks. It's such a good rabbit hole. Also, Zarkos Lock, welcome in. Hello. Thank you so much for the sub. Let me get you on here. XARCOS. What is it? LOCKE. Welcome in. Thanks for the sub with Prime. We also have Always the DMs who's here. Hello, hello. Lucifer's here. Also, let's see. Seeker says it's fun at introducing biology to fantasy worlds, especially calling out different TTRPG mechanics, like candles and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I try and work in like my degrees into anything that I build in world building, which is why the new supplement I'm working on is gonna be so much fun. Andy's taking charge on that one though. I'm just a consultant. Bronca says, is there even a bottom to this rabbit hole? There's several thousands of these guys, so I'm guessing not. But there's also some that are really cute. Like this one's really fucking dangerous because of its bite force, right? But we also have certain ones, and a lot of them, I find them to be fun because it takes a second to like put it together what exactly they do sometimes. Like I think where is it, 96? I think 96 is the shy guy, right? Yeah, here we go. This is one of my favorite scary ones. Oh yeah, is SCP-1471 on there? SCP-1471, let me see. Oh. Ooh, let's see. Containment, oh, it's only Euclid, so we know enough about it. All mobile devices that have SCP-1471 installed are to be confiscated and analyzed for any potential leads to other possibly affected devices. After that, they are to have their batteries removed, be given a number, and then placed in a storage unit. All online application stores for mobile devices are to be monitored to prevent any inadvertent sales of this SCP, and any devices are to be targeted using self-uploading malware in order to disable the device until it can be seized by field agents. So this is out in the world. SCP-1471 is a free 9.8 megabyte application for mobile devices named Mal-O version 1.0.0 in online application stores. SCP-1471 has no listed developer and is somehow able to bypass the application approval process and go straight to distribution. It is also able to avoid removal by other program manager applications. So once it's on there, it's on there. After 1471 is installed, no icons or shortcuts are created for the application, but it begins to send the individual messages through text messaging every 3 to 6 hours. All images will contain SCP-1471-A, which I'm guessing is this guy, either within the background or the foreground, and it appears as a large humanoid with a canid-like skull and black hair. During the first 24 hours after installing this app, the device begins to receive images taken at locations commonly frequented by the individual. After 48 hours, the mobile device will receive images taken at locations that were recently visited by the individual. After 72 hours, the mobile device will receive images of the individual in real time, with SCP-1471-A appearing within close proximity to it. Individuals with less than 90 hours of exposure can briefly visualize this SCP within their peripherals, reflective surfaces, or a combination of the two. Continued exposure will cause irreversible and sustained visualizations of the creature. And at this stage, people have reported periodic attempts by the SCP to communicate with them, but fail to understand or comprehend these actions. Currently, the only known treatment to reverse this effect is to eliminate the individual's visual exposure prior to 90 hours after installation. To date, no apparent hostile activity has been reported, thank God. There's also an archived document here that says, note, SCP-1471 is posted on application stores. Free, no reviews. Oh man. A description says, never settle for those awkward feelings of being alone ever again. Mallow is an exciting and interactive experience that will keep you engaged and intrigued. The anxiety of social situations can be nerve-wracking, but after just a few hours of Mallow, you will soon forget about all those painful emotions of disappointment. Be part of the new craze that is quickly becoming the next social substitute. Remember, the more you participate, the more Mallow will engage you. Your experience is completely up to you. Absolutely no ads. No ads is crazy. I'm not gonna click that, but there's a button there. Super Nerd said this SCP has a lot of art. I mean, not gonna lie. He would be on my Hear Me Out cake. Let's see. Someone says, I need to know if there's an SCP 69 or 420. Oh, there has to be, right? SCP 69. Currently impersonating a Foundation agent. It's not a funny one, it looks like. There are joke SCPs though. If we go to, yeah, joke. Which are essentially like a bunch of just fuck around SCPs. Where is it? SCP-000J. Most of them are like fake items that you can buy. Let's see. One is just a fork. SCP-14. Its holding cells to be remain locked at all times. Personnel can be admitted to view it after submitting a formal request 3 weeks in advance, but anyone handling it must undergo a special precautionary protocol. Anyone exposed to it must be subjected to a 48-hour quarantine and psychological evaluation, and after exposure, common sense dictates that one should wash their hands. SCP-14 takes the form of an antique dinner fork, well worn, and can be, and as near as can be estimated, not cleaned since the 1890s. Jesus fuck. So it's a really old, really dirty fork. It's fashioned from electroplated nickel silver, and the rightmost tine is bent a certain amount of degrees outward. Brown stains and mold adorn the prongs and the pits of the decorative parts of the handle. Analysis of the material seems to indicate it was last used on some form of beef. Oh, goodness. Oh my god, Lurking Fierce is in TikTok saying, hey Diana, looking forward to hosting the Shadow Dark with you as one of our great players at Gen Con. Hi! Oh my god, I'm so sorry I didn't see your message earlier. We're, TikTok is not easy to read on my current stream setup because I'm primarily Twitch, but absolutely lovely to be invited. I'm really excited for that one. For those who don't know, we are doing a, essentially like a Shadow Dark Learn to Play experience at Gen Con, so if you guys are gonna be there, check it out, the link's in my bio. Also, ABCDE is asking for a D&D themed tarot card reading. Oh yeah, I could do that. Wanting to know how the fishing trip with Aunt and Uncle will go on Friday. Absolutely. We also have Killer, who is here for the first time. Same with Randomness. Good to see you. SCP-1471 is an AI girlfriend. Do I still have it pulled up? Oh, I don't. I closed it. Fuck. So this is a really gross fork. It appears to be an entirely mundane dinner fork. If it is possessed of any extraordinary qualities, those are known only to the highest echelon of this project's coordinators, and the representatives assure us that the fork is in fact very important. Officers who have spent time alone with the fork are unanimous in their appreciation and saying that it's of great significance, although no one can actually say why. Also, someone named Agent Spoon says that they should decommission it immediately because it's too dangerous to be kept alive. Jesus fuck. Zaldwise, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Oh my god. And Bronca says how many of these are in date everything. Dude, can you imagine a date everything but with SCPs? I'm pretty sure someone has made it because there's at least one SCP that's like really big up for monster fuckers. I know that. Zaidwise, thank you so much for the subs. I will add a ×6 here. To add on to the sub that you had yourself earlier. I appreciate you so much. But let's see, we had some other requests. Someone said SCP-261. Yeah, let me find it. SCP, it's easier to search here than to go to an entirely separate page. SCP-261, it's considered safe. So this one, we not only know how it works, but we know that it is not gonna kill anyone, which is great. Coleslaw, hi, and they hate her, welcome in. Same with Space Axolotl. I'll let you guys read this for a quick sec while I grab the D&D themed tarot deck, because we did get a redeem for that to see how the weekend's gonna go. And this is pretty well shuffled already from last time, because I shuffled way more than I needed to, so I'll just do a couple quick ones here. But Paul says this makes me want to hold a session where all we do is come up with 5 or 6 SCP ideas, so write your own. That'd be fun. I like the concept. I think people have converted SCPs for sure to D&D before. Let's see. Fulleran says the Scarlet King is my fave. This one says, any access to SCP-261 must be approved by staff with level 2 security, clearance, or higher. All items dispensed by it must be recorded along with the amount of money entered and the amount of time elapsed between uses. It can only be used 10 times in a 24-hour period with no transaction exceeding the equivalent of 500 Japanese yen. Items dispensed should be reviewed by health and safety officials before consumption. Failure to do so releases the Foundation from any obligation regarding negative effects. Items deemed dangerous or useful to research will be confiscated, and financial compensation provided in proportion to money spent. Now, this SCP appears to be a large black vending machine with no front glass panel and a small keypad on the right side. It was discovered in Japan, and it was brought to the Foundation after investigation of an urban legend about a magic vending machine that was circulating on the internet. SCP-261 was found in a back alley behind a large shopping center with a handwritten sign saying "out of order" in Japanese taped to it. It has no marks of identification, and locals don't remember how it got there. Internally, it appears to be a basic vending machine equipped to vend food and beverage items, and after a key was made and the front door opened, there was nothing weird inside, and it was determined that it was never actually containing any food or beverage items at all. The keypad, while connected and operating correctly, does not activate any of the dispensing mechanisms. So, when money is placed into it and a 3-digit number is entered, the SCP will vend a random item. It has not accepted anything other than yen as currency, and so anything rejected comes back in the coin return slot, and it's unknown how these items appear. However, the SCP will not operate when the door is open or when recording devices are placed inside. The number entered on the keypad has no effect on the item vended, nor has any pattern been detected. They are always some form of snack food and typically have bright, attention-grabbing packaging. Now I'm hungry, fuck. SCP-261 is capable of operating with no power supply, but it causes unstable vending to occur much more quickly than normal. If it's used several times in a short time period, or large amounts of money are entered before an item is vended, then the SCP will start to dispense bizarre items. While they're still technically food, their suitability for human consumption is often non-existent. Ooh. Also, Strange by Nature says, to me, without the presence of 53, 682 is the most dangerous. 682 is wild, and I honestly kind of love how much it's a driver of just absolute panic. Also, Mayo says, no, I'm not sure if you saw my last message because it got drowned, but what would you think of a TTRPG that has built-in role systems where each class gets unique buffs based off of what role the players choose? I would say that would be cool and a solid way to decouple, like, the healer role away from just being, like, the cleric, for example, but it would have to be super flexible so that any class could be any role, and then that would be, I mean, it's functionally like a subclass, I'm imagining, right? A log of items vended during testing phase 8. 800 yen were entered for each item, items being dispensed every 2 minutes. It gave you Coke Zero, Cheetos, Black, which is a single pack of caffeinated chewing gum, Yan, which is a single Yan cone, that was with peach dipping frosting, which isn't actually one that's produced. Pepsi Dragon Twist, a can of Pepsi Cola with a trace of fruit flavor, packaging in English. It was identified as dragon fruit, but PepsiCo doesn't actually make this. That's cool, so it can create like alternate reality, like Pepsis? How crazy is that? Dr. Bacon, hi. Same with White Fluffy Sin and Space Axolotl. Good to see you guys, good to see you. Space Axolotl also says, I've been seeing your shorts. I had no idea you stream. 1762 is by far my favorite, but if you have time to try a small rabbit hole, then try 55. Try not to forget it too quickly though. Yeah, there's a lot of suggestions. If I forgot something, toss it into chat. Also, hi Ashen Wanderer, welcome in. We also have Dark Side Cola with clear liquid inside, and when opened, the liquid reacts to air and changes to dark black over a period of several seconds. It looks like billowing smoke, and it's described as cola with something spicy in it, in flavor. There's also 7 grain, which is a small tube the size of a candy bar with a green button, and when the top is twisted off, the massive dough is extruded. The dough contains enzymes and bacteria not yet identified, and on contact with air, it rises and bakes, killing the microbes in the process. It produces a small round loaf of bread weighing 250 grams. It's good, but chewy. I would love chewy bread, are you kidding? Like some mochi? Oh. Berserker says, what if 261 just vended all lost items like socks from the dryer, coins from the couch, etc., etc.? Honestly, that would be so funny. There is one SCP, and I forget what it is, but it's like a pizza box, and it will give you like your preferred pizza, like your dream pizza. Even if you've never heard of this type of pizza, or even if it contains like unrealistic ingredients, if you open it, it's just like a normal Little Caesars pizza box, I'm pretty sure, but if you open it, it gives you like a pizza that you didn't even know existed, and it's somehow your favorite pizza ever. Universe Falls says, have we done our daily food and snack derail? I don't know how, but yeah, we made it happen. Maya says, I'm building it so all classes have access to all roles, and each one has a different buff from the role, so any given role doesn't just cover all, doesn't have a cover-all boost. So the Battle Priest gets an AC boost from the tank role, but the Warlock gets the free cast of currently not made shield spell that allow them to create a shield. I like that. I think that's good. I think it's really flexible too, and I like the like choose your own adventure style of that sort of thing. Johnny also wants me to hydrate. Also, Chrysophos is gonna get that cheese pizza from the Goofy movie. Let me find this one because it's really good. There's a couple other ones that don't have, before I get into this and do the tarot deck roll reading here. It looks like there's a bunch of like random stuff. One of them was a tall thin aluminum can with packaging in an unknown language. Opening the can caused a chemical reaction with the liquid inside the can, and the liquid was apparently not intended for oxygenated atmospheres and detonated violently, causing several injuries and killing 2 researchers. Testing discontinued, an area cleared, and the area was observed to smell like citrus for several days. There's also a whole ass log where it looks like people can kind of like go in and add their own like this is like one of those collaborative type things where people can just kind of write their own stories of what they imagine they would get out of this machine. But yeah, there's it doesn't describe, oh, one of them was shotgun shells. It doesn't describe what like the more dangerous ones are. I thought they would be separated in some way. Let's see, for 1,500 yen, when unpowered, it gave you an ice cream flashlight. The object was a flashlight in the shape of an ice cream cone. Testing showed that anything illuminated with the light would slowly convert to ice cream with the flavor of the ice cream depending on the material used. Not bad. Let's see, Iron Joker's gonna lurk. Hi, also Drew is Dead is here. Hello, hello. And Strange Miniatures says, how many SCPs are we wanting to eat? Dude, don't, I'm so hungry. By the way, the tarot deck poll that we have from earlier is the High Priestess for ABCD Fuck Me, who was asking how their weekend's gonna go fishing. And the High Priestess card, I think we've seen it once before. It's one of the, yeah, it's one of the very first ones in the book, actually. Accessing your intuition and tuning into the source of feminine power. And the plot hook here says you encounter a holy woman who offers you each a gift. So, feminine power, I guess. I don't know. I think with regards to the weekend, whatever feminine power means to you, I suppose. But, you know, trust in your own intuition, trust in your own wisdom, and your gut instinct, as I imagine what that would kind of mean. But either way, I think it would go well. I mean, the fact that the plot hook says that you'll get gifts, I would love that. Natsu says your grandma's gonna give you a scarf in the middle of summer. Congrats. Hey. Also, Shamo, welcome in. Zaldwise says, or Zadewise, I keep misreading that, says, that favorite pizza SCP has not met my order history. Half the pizza would be exotic veggies, and the other half would use white sauce instead of marinara, would be square cut, and have gold foil on top just for fun. Yeah, where the fuck, pizza SCP? This is one of my favorites. SCP-458. Here we go. It's considered safe and is stored in the canteen with no access restrictions required. It's a large-sized pizza box from the pizza chain Little Caesars of their hot and ready variety. It's made of simple cardboard, measures 20, I don't care about the measurements, and weighs about 20 to 20.5 grams depending on toppings. As a result of the unusual nature, measurement of weight is inconsistent. What makes it an oddity is that while appearing to be an ordinary pizza box, when it comes into contact with human hands, it instantly replicates the holder's subconsciously preferred choice of pizza, down to the favorite sauce, cheese, crust, and topping. It's not limited to the Little Caesars brand, as pizza from all major pizza chains, as well as local and even handmade pizzas, have been produced. There seems to be no limit to its ability, except that it can't make anything but pizza, and its toppings must be edible by normal human standards. The box is also rather indestructible, as all tests to destroy or dismantle the box have proven fruitless. It's assumed that it's at least semi-sentient, so it's probably telepathic and can sense the holder's personal choices. And testing showed that it has infinite power to generate pizza, but it has little other use. So they placed it inside the canteen so personnel can just use it for lunch. Personnel morale has shown to have sharply increased. Upon testing 458 with a certain SCP, the subject took a bite of the slice, which appeared to be a garlic-free slice of sausage and olive pizza on wheat crust. And this was met with the response, "It's a fine slice, but I would have preferred a rather different sauce." So it's inferred that the box cannot use substances that are indigestible by regular human bodies. Further testing confirmed this. There's also a note here saying, I would just like to remind all staff that just because we have a pizza box that can constantly create pizzas for you does not mean you can just sit around and eat pizza all afternoon. If continued abuse of the box continues, coupled with reports of personnel gaining unhealthy amounts of weight, I may be forced to implement a mandatory physical training regimen following lunch hours. They've also given it to a bunch of like sentient SCPs in order to see what their preferred pizzas are. Like SCP-999, what do they call it? The tickle monster, the hug monster, likes a soft dough base smothered in chocolate ganache, layered with assorted chocolates, chocolate chips, Hershey's Kisses, and Reese's Pieces, and scattered candies like gummy bears and M&Ms across the top, drizzled with melted chocolate and sprinkles. That's so wholesome. Also, Seeker says, I'd be super curious as to what my favorite pizza would be. Yeah, also Luke says she might find a lemon SCP. Is there a lemon SCP? No way. Is there? Kashka said diabetes. Indeed. Let's see. Further testing on SCPs may reveal some odd characteristics about the SCPs themselves and is suggested. And then someone else updated said, further cross-testing is permitted but requires approval. Oh, there's also a lot of like addendums and small notes here. Oh man. SCP-166 liked thin crust and then complained about moderate discomfort and nausea. SCP-181, as a reward for good behavior, got a pepperoni, sausage, and marinara stuffed crust pizza, and then it said that it was a lucky guess. 73 wanted... Oh, it began... Oh. I'm not going to read all that. But SCP-999 is the other one that's like really fucking cute. This is the other one that had merch, actually. If we go to the catalog here, and toys, this guy, the tickle monster is what they call him. He's such a cutie. He's just a happy little guy. And they have him on shirts and stuff. What an absolute sweetie. Oh no, go back. So this guy is really famous because he's just like so wholesome. SCP-999 is allowed to roam the facility if it wants to, but otherwise must stay in its pen for sleeping between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. or during emergency lockdowns for its own safety. Subject is not allowed out of its pen at night or off facility grounds, and the pen is to be kept clean with food replaced twice daily. Personnel are allowed inside its holding area, but only if they're on break, and the subject is to be played with when bored and spoken to in a calm, non-threatening tone. It appears to be a large, amorphous, gelatinous mass of translucent orange slime, weighing about 120 pounds, with a consistency similar to that of peanut butter. Its size and shape is malleable, and it can change shape at will. And on the surface, it consists of a transparent membrane like that of an animal cell, and it's also elastic. Its surface is hydrophobic, but it can willfully absorb liquids, and the rest of it is filled with an unknown chemical makeup of orange shit, although it can digest organic materials with ease. Its temperament is described as playful and dog-like. When approached, SCP-999 will often react with overwhelming elation, slithering over to the nearest person and leaping upon them, hugging them with a pair of pseudopods while nuzzling the person's face with a third pseudopod, all while emitting high-pitched gurgling and cooing noises. The surface emits a pleasing odor that differs from with whoever it's interacting with, so people will say it smells like chocolate, fresh laundry, bacon, roses, and Play-Doh. Just touching it causes mild euphoria, which intensifies the longer one is exposed to SCP-999 and lasts long after separation from the creature. Its favorite activity is tickle wrestling, which envelops a person from the neck down and tickles them until asked to stop, although it doesn't always usually immediately comply. Injuries may occur, but it doesn't attempt to harm people immediately. While the creature will interact with anyone, it has an interest in those who are unhappy and hurt, so people who have crippling depression or PTSD have reported having far more positive outlook on life after chatting with this guy for a couple minutes. That's super cute. It loves all animals. Oh, it refuses to eat meat and sacrifices its own life to save others, and even leapt in front of a person to take a bullet fired at them. That's so cute, and it loves sweet things like M&Ms and Necco wafers. Well, okay, no accounting for taste on that front. Hashkal said it's just good slime. Let's see. Reminder to all staff, it's not to consume caffeinated soft drinks. Last week, someone gave SCP-999 a can of cola along with its usual breakfast. It was literally bouncing off the walls for half an hour afterwards, and the combination made it queasy afterwards, and it refused to move or eat the rest of the day. Oh, that's super cute. Well, let's see. There's also SCP-682, which is considered like the most dangerous creature in existence. Panda says, Diana, not sure if you got the message, but you got come in your way. Is that a threat? Oh, food! Oh, thank you so much, Panda. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. Also, there's a combo that got started from Zaid. And Paul the Map Guy says Necco wafers aren't sweet. They try, but they fail. Yeah, dude, we went over this, I think last week. Ugh, horrible. Turpentine, welcome in. Same with Vanity of Violet and Shamo. I can't remember if I got the hydrate from Johnny Infamous, but if I didn't, here's to you. And the almighty Cheddar is here. Hello, hello. Good to see you guys. Strange Miniature says, of course, it would be the slime that would fix my problems, but I can't touch stuff. You can't touch slime? Really? Oh. But Rasulid says, I love that Sherman has his own plushie. Did they call him Sherman? Or is that a different guy? Yeah, they have a little man. He's got a little butt. How cute is that? 682 is like the other one, mostly because it's basically like a reptile that's full-on fucking indestructible. SCP-682, its object class is Keter? I don't know. But it says it must be destroyed as soon as possible. At this time, no means available to SCP DMs are capable of destroying SCP-682, only able to cause massive physical damage. It should be contained in a reinforced, acid-resistant, steel plate-lined chamber, and the containment should be filled with hydrochloric acid until it's submerged and incapacitated. Any attempts to move, speak, or breach containment should be reacted to quickly and with full force, as called for by the circumstances. You can't speak to it, or else you might provoke it to a rage state, and all unauthorized personnel attempting to communicate with 682 will be restrained and removed by force. Due to its frequent attempts at containment breach, the difficulty of containment and incapacitation, and high threat of Foundation exposure, 682 is to be contained in a certain site that's been redacted, and the Foundation will use the best of its resources to keep land within 50 kilometers clear. So it's a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin. It appears to be extremely intelligent and was observed to engage in complex communication with SCP-79 when they were exposed together. SCP-79 is a computer that is wildly evil, I believe. But it appears to have a hatred of all life, which has been expressed in several interviews during containment. It's always been observed to have extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact levels vary with its form. Its physical body grows and changes very quickly, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or shreds material. It gains energy from anything that it ingests, organic or inorganic, and digestion seems to be aided by a set of filtering gills inside its nostrils, which remove usable matter from any liquid solution, so it can regenerate instantly from the acid it's contained in. Oh man. It's been seen moving and speaking with its body 87% destroyed or rotted. Ugh. Goodness. Oh man, there's like there's an audio file. Hold on. Of this.
Now why did you kill those farmers? If you don't talk now, we'll remove you from this attempt and place you back into... Pardon? Speak up. Move the mic up closer. The microphone only has so much gain. Move it closer to it.
Disgusting.
Wild. That was not there the last time that Yeah, that was not there last time I read this. Astronomus High saying, what did I miss? We are reading through SCPs. Also, Turpentine says, I love SCPs so much. Such an awesome thing the internet has come together to create. Yeah, also hello to Ashbourne and Thinking Please Wait. We also have a guide, the raid, for later on when we're raiding someone. J-Bones is also here. Hello, hello. Astronomus, let me get you on the board. Astronomist. There you are. Hello, welcome back and thanks for the sub. Super Nerd said the recording with the chill step in the background. Oh shit, yeah, I got the chill step on, didn't I? Whoops. I can't hear it, so my bad. But yeah, so there's like a whole bunch of, it looks like anytime there have been breaches anyone that's involved, or the vast majority of people involved, have died. And so that's not fantastic. There was an attempt to use other SCPs to contain it, but when we tried, it just adapted and became immune to it instead. But when we gave it the tickle monster, where was it? Oh my gosh, here we go. This happened. The tickle monster slithered towards it, and then 682 didn't like it and stepped on it and completely flattened it. But SCP-999 can be seen crawling up from between a 682's toes, up along its side and around its neck, where it begins gently nuzzling with its pseudopod. A wide grin spreads across SCP-682's face, and it started to feel happy for fucking once in its life. They had a tickle fight, and then 682 fell asleep with a smile on its face. Now, all persons with, oh god, and when they went back to try and get 999 out of there, it escaped, killed everything in its path, and is, oh, that's not fantastic. SCP-999 has not shown any fear towards 682, and in fact made gestures suggesting it wants to play with 682 again. However, 682 said that feculent little something can something and die. Goodness. Big Dubs, hey, welcome in. And oh my god, Astronomist also said my favorite SCP is 3812. Yeah, I can go to 3812. Let me see. I want to do 96 at some point. SCP 3812. Oh, I hate this already. This is one of the newer ones. Oh wait, 3812. Was it that? Yeah. 3812. So this is after they have switched to like a new form of essentially like website setup. And so they have the item number, the bars indicate the level of like how much access you have to have in order to receive the information related to it or to access that item. Also Big Dubs. Here we are. Big Dubs TV. Thanks so much for the sub, friend. Welcome back. And then oh, saying new hair. Yeah, I got the blonde bits touched up a little bit. Zaldwise says except fatal wounds. Oh, it cures all wounds except fatal wounds. Jesus. Then there's the Keter class, which basically says that it's dangerous if uncontained. So there are like, hold on, let me go to the, here's the guide for newcomers. Everything's contradictory. Yeah, the object classes mean they're safe, so it's simple. Euclid means containing is more complex, and Keter means that containment is very difficult to maintain. Where are... Shit. Guide for writing, maybe? Table of contents. How to write an SCP, syntax formatting, appearance. I thought there was a page that had like all of the designations, but I guess it's not here. Anyway, there's a risk class, so it's like how dangerous it is if it gets out of there, and disruption class, I can't remember exactly what that one means. But SCP-3812 is currently only partially contained. Due to its nature, any attempt to contain it will invariably lead to failure, and despite quarantine efforts and ongoing research, the classification of Keter is essentially meaningless. At any point, for any reason, it can not only breach containment on a global scale, but also cause potentially catastrophic damage to Earth and local reality. Its capabilities are unknown, and further research is required. However, we're going to classify it as Keter until further notice. See containment proposal below for more information. So there's a proposal, which has a fake like footnote, saying that it's just supposed to be constantly monitored to create an area of exclusion around it wherever it is. Special care must be taken in order to prevent unnecessary exposure. We need to focus on mitigating its influence on population centers and research more about its actual capabilities, as well as monitor all forms of digital media to prevent widespread awareness of it. It has an active, aggressive, anomalous influence on reality. It's capable of altering events throughout time to prevent its containment. And due to the nature of these alterations, it's highly unlikely that any individual affected by its anomalous influence will be aware that they are affected. So, most affected individuals no longer exist, likely as a result of the influence, although any attempt to deduce how this happens will have to be speculative. So, it's a reality-altering entity. Due to its latent effect on reality, it's impossible to describe it in any meaningful way, but it was once Sam Howell, a non-anomalous African-American human being who was believed to have died in 1996. Sometime shortly after its death, it was observed rising out of its grave and disappearing. It was brought to the Foundation after its presence resulted in the demolition of an apartment building in Warsaw, Poland. Its appearance varies significantly, and this is where its current location is, over the South Pacific Ocean. It exhibits signs of an extremely advanced schizophrenia complex, which means that it has extreme paranoia, extreme dysphoria, mania and depression. It can't properly perceive its surroundings. It can't discern the difference between real and imagined. Oh my gosh. It can't control emotions. It hears things, sees things, and feels things that aren't there. Ugh. And since it was initially discovered, its symptoms have grown worse. It's responsive to questioning and sought help managing its condition from researchers, but over time it became more isolated and withdrawn, eventually becoming entirely unresponsive and acting erratically. It's not able to accurately perceive the world around it and will occasionally alter reality, especially if the thing causes stress, whatever it's seeing, in order to diminish the discrepancy with how it perceives something and the way that something is in actuality. It's impossible to know how often reality has been modified, only how often it's not created a clean alteration and has left behind evidence of its influence on reality. So it leaves behind conflicting memories, unchanged records, and occasionally entirely doubles of the conflicting person or event, which is how we know it exists. It's impossible to contain because it just alters reality to remove the cell, or moves itself to a different location, which drastically impedes containment efforts. It resists any attempts at containment as well, and even if it's caught unaware, it can't be tranquilized because it just removes any threats to itself. Over time, it's become significantly less humanoid and is now only vaguely humanoid and manifests in a variety of shapes and appearances. So it's like schizophrenia manifested. Interesting. Also, hi Ames, welcome in. Thanks so much for the raid. Sorry, I've been like fucking just reading SCPs over here, don't mind me. Also, Dice, hello, thank you so much for the sub. We also had Diddy Wow who's here, Strange Miniatures who subbed. We have Seeker who wants me to breathe. And Chapo One Deep, welcome in. Same with Mikey Not the Turtle. Hello everyone, hi readers, how are we? Welcome to some SCP readings. But Cash Cow said it's 8:30, gotta run. Have a good night, Cash Cow. I'll head off here soon too. Strange Miniature says, how was I not subbed already? I'm so sorry, but welcome to the board of D-Class personnel. Strange Miniatures. We also had Dice Goblin Black Cat, an amazing dice maker. Dice Goblin Black Cat. Here we are. And then, let's see. I think that's everything. I think I'm caught up. Oh, Swick, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Dice Goblin says D-Class. Oh no, I don't want to die. I'm so sorry. This is just today's theme, I swear. To be fair, some D-Class personnel gets to do some fun shit. I'm pretty sure. I think. I'm sure I've read of it somewhere. That's like probably a thing, I bet. Uzumaki, hi, welcome in. Let's see. So yeah, we were talking about this SCP who just seems to be a dude who's like subject to, I guess, schizophrenia and like a bunch of panicky shit. And unfortunately just like, I don't know, I guess just has the ability to make himself feel better by changing life. Let's see. He hears voices. There's like interviews of it. He knows that things are going on in his head and he doesn't like it. And when he's like, oh yeah, I have to get out of here, he just fucking disappears. So he's an existential threat. In truth, it's probably better for us that it's insane. It isn't capable of comprehending the kind of things it could do to us. It just acts on impulse and things change to fit those impulses. But since it's as locked in as it is, those changes stay local. Imagine if it got the idea in its head that it didn't like the concept of empathy, and suddenly empathy no longer existed. We have evidence that suggests that may have already happened. A few sparse texts and individual accounts of half-forgotten memories, all consistent with a dirty reality alteration, all to the point that as recently as the 1980s, there was a concept, potentially even something as fundamental as an emotion, that no longer exists. An entire concept wiped clean from reality and the collective subconsciousness of all sentient beings. The point is, we need to figure something out about this one quickly. Oh. This is wild. It's also got excerpts from things. At one point, it was detected moving through a sparsely populated region in Paraguay towards a more populated region on the Argentinian border. Interesting. It's attacked by a large number of local wildlife, and it repels these attacks. And then a sinkhole appears below it. A number of objects fall from the sky onto it, which appear to have been tungsten rods, although the origin of them is uncertain. And they look like they pierce him, but they actually disintegrate within half a meter of his body. Wild. A bunch of things attempt to kill him, and then it just doesn't work. Huh. Okay, well, Foundation Overwatch Command received a message on a secure server, the access to which is limited to overseers alone. The contents of the message after this incident are as follows. Your world has rules, physical rules that cannot be broken. You call them laws of the universe, and that's what you study. Once the laws are established, it cannot be changed. I wrote the laws of your universe, and as such I created the narrative. This is the first time I tried something like this specifically. I wanted to create something that, by definition, superseded everything that superseded it. I wanted to see how many layers there are, as if the stack of narratives really do go on forever upward. And the mistake was, I didn't realize that by making him supersede everything that supersedes him, he's also superseding himself. Sorry, I think I fucked up really badly this time. I've tried everything I can think of, but I can't undo him. I don't really understand how, but I think he's above me now, and whatever's above me too, because whoever wrote my narrative isn't happy about this. I don't know where he's at, but I think he exists in all of our realities simultaneously. Eventually, he'll either reach the top or just keep going, and neither option is good. So something tried to kill him, saying that it was a mistake, and the Foundation believes that it might be a god. Oh, crazy. Ordo, hi, hello, Tanaya, welcome in. Good to see you guys. Berserker says this SCP is legit the Mandela effect. Yeah. Zaydwai says, poor guy. I know, I feel bad for him, especially the fact that they keep referring to it as it in this, as opposed to saying like, oh yeah, it's him. Oh yeah, they call it a voice behind me. There's also frequently asked questions for this guy. Oh, for the page, I see. I'll end with one of my favorites. Strange Miniature says, God, I'm never gonna financially recover from this. Truly. But HT, welcome back for your 10th stream in a row. Welcome in, welcome in. So SCP-96 is arguably one of my favorites, only because it's so fucking terrifying in concept. It says SCP-96 is to be contained in a cell that's an airtight cube at all times, and you have to check it weekly for any sort of cracks in it. There's no surveillance or optical tools of any kind in the cell, and you have to use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure that its presence is there. Any videos, photo, and recording are strictly forbidden without approval. It's a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.36 meters in height, so tall. And the subject shows very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the body, so they're really long, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Its skin is mostly pale with no sign of body hair, and its jaw can open up to 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It's not known whether it's blind or not, but it doesn't show any signs of higher brain functions and is not considered to be sapient. It's extremely docile, with pressure sensors indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views SCP-96's face, whether it be directly, via recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. It will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. And approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, SCP-96 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will from this point on be referred to by a different moniker, SCP-96-1. So this is its target. Its speeds have varied from 35 kilometers an hour to some redacted 3-digit number, and seems to depend on the distance from SCP-96-1. No known material or method can impede its progress, and the actual position doesn't seem to affect 96's response. It has an innate sense of the target's location. This reaction does not occur when viewing artistic descriptions. Now, upon arriving at the location of its target, it will proceed to kill and something its target. 100% of cases have left no trace of the target. Then it will sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. Then it will attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat, which has been redacted. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, retrieval of the subject should be considered alpha priority. There's been a petition for immediate termination of it, and it was approved and was to be carried out on a certain time, but it resulted in an incident. Ooh. So there was a log here from when it was retrieved initially. They had to use anti-tank guns on it, and it didn't even flinch. It just kept tearing apart a bunch of people who saw its face. Goodness. They have an artist's depiction of its face. Let's see. Yeah. So they put a D-class personnel, D9031, which was a convicted felon and former tattoo artist. It was placed inside a bathysphere, which was located in a trench off the coast of New Zealand, like an underwater trench. Maddie, hi! Hello, hello. Falcon says the Shy Guy one. It is the Shy Guy one. Hello, hello. But the following was recorded via video between it and Dr. Dan's control site. Let's see. It reached a depth of 10,800 meters. Oh my gosh, the D-class personnel was like, hey, what now? And he said his ears hurt, but the person running the experiment was like, hey, that's fine. On your left should be a steel container. Open it and there will be a manila folder containing several photographs. Open it and describe the first photograph, please. Now the camera's located so the photograph can't be seen. And it says that it's a photograph of an empty cell at first. Great. The second one had a photograph with a foot in it, which was pale and bony. And then the third one was its actual face. The guy was like, oh shit. And the doctor was like, can you please describe it? The D-class personnel said, I don't know, some creepy ass person. He's pale, has white eyes, and something fucked up is happening with his mouth. What the hell is this thing? At this point, Dr. Dan in Experiment Control was notified that SCP-96 breached containment. Its fastest path to the target has been cleared of civilians and other image capturing devices, and it was being tracked by satellites via a tracking collar. Now the tattoo artist was given a pen and paper and was, spending like 20 minutes drawing a sketch of the photograph. And by the time he finished, he had a couple minutes, 40 minutes, until 96 started diving towards him. Oh, God. And then attacked the guy through the bathysphere. So that's how they got the drawing. That is crazy. Anyway, that should be the end of our stream. We've already gone over by like 10 minutes. I have shit to do. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. This is a bit of a fun one for me, mostly just because I wanted to read through SCPs, and I thought that you guys might take interest in it. There have been a decent amount of attempts. Wait, Turpentine says, have you seen the short film for SCP-96? What? No, hold on. There's been a lot of like fan art and stuff like that. Some people call him the Immortal Devourer. Oh yeah, Cinder did a video on him. So these are like the pics of this man. He was in like the video game and things like that. They call him Shy Guy. Oh, they have a little plush of him. That's horrifying. But yeah, oh my God, wait, what? Oh, this cannot be a real. Yeah, okay, I was like, there's no way there's a real Magic the fucking Gathering card. There is not, but yeah. They blur out his face in most photos and things like that in like fan art and whatnot. I haven't seen like a video though. Aw, man, I'm getting kicked out of my session. Our systems have detected unusual traffic from your computer network. Damn it. That's fine. Anyway, Astronomer says the only other SCP I love is SCP-3000. I don't think I've seen 3000. SCP-3000. Oh my God. Bus. I have to do another CAPTCHA. Here we go. A massive aquatic serpentine creature. Oh, it's a cognito-hazard. Oh, this is just like those guys who were in, what do you call it? Like the... Fuck. What do you call it? Subnautica. Johnny says, what about SCP-80085? It's a cognito-hazardous entity. Causes mental alterations in viewers. You experience inexplicable head pain, paranoia, and fear and panic if you look at it. It was discovered in 1971 after fishermen were reported missing after drifting near the Indian coast, and it caused mass hysteria. Yeah, it causes detrimental effects, like mental effects, and then it just attacks. Oh God, these new websites are crazy. There's so much info here. Oh God, this is a whole ass story. Ooh. Anyway, Strange Miniature says SCP-80085 is the tits. Jesus. Let's see, Vader Raid, hello. Thank you so much for the sub, friend. Good to see you. SpongeBob SQP is also here. Vader Raid, I'll toss you on the board before we head off, but we had someone guide our raid earlier. So we have a friend who we're gonna go say hi to. Go ahead and use the knife emote when we get there. And we're gonna raid into, if they're still going, let's see, Von Necros. Hopefully. Damn, it doesn't say that there's a channel under that name. Fuck. Okay, we might have to just raid into someone normal. Or maybe they're just not online right now. Yeah, they might not be online. That's okay. Let's head over to... we can talk to Cinderbox Sally, actually. Ask him about SCP-96, because apparently he made a YouTube short about it, so it's on topic. So we'll go say hi to him. He's also doing homebrew for D&D campaigns, so we could 100% just go say hello. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's been lovely having you, and I will see you guys again next Monday. I'm going to run for this weekend, and I'll report back on Monday. For those on TikTok, I'll say goodbye now. And for those on Twitch, hang tight. Say hi to Cinder for me. Oh my gosh, we also had 5 gifted subs. Zaid, thank you so much. Holy shit, that was like right before leaving. Oh no. Okay, Zaid, I'm gonna up your number to an 11 real fast. There we are. Johnny says so long and thanks for the fish. It's been lovely having you guys. Thanks for letting me do a little side tangent. And then, yeah, I will see you guys on Monday, 5 o'clock Pacific time. And until then, have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. Bye-bye.